Gimel Mishnah Vov. Heviuhu leveis haparva. They bring the Kohen Gadol into the Beis Haparva. This is the place which we mentioned back in Mishnah Gimel, where the Tvilas take place. This is b'Mokum Kodesh. This is in the Azara per se, as opposed to the first Tvila, which was outside of the Azara. And the reason why this one, and indeed the sort of the second set, the four, needs to be in the Azara itself, is based on the Pasuk. The Pasuk says, "V'rochatz es besara b'mayim b'Mokum Kodesh," that it's got to be b'Mokum Kodesh. The first Tvila, however, wasn't part of the Avodas Yom HaKippurim, therefore that could be done outside. But this one, and indeed the next three, have got to be b'Mokum Kodesh. So therefore, they bring him to the Beis HaParva, and we mentioned in Mishnah Gimel, either why is it called Beis HaParva, either named after the builder who built this chamber, or based after this magician who tunneled under the ground because he wanted to witness the avodah of the Kohen Gadol on Yom HaKippurim. He was spotted by the Kohanim and he was stopped, and later they built a room over the area where he was found, and therefore they called it Beis HaParva to sort of commemorate this event. Either way, they bring him to this Beis HaParva. V'kodesh hoisan, it was in the Kodesh as we've described. Persu sadin shel butz beino levein ha'am. And again they would bring this sheet, this wall, this barrier but made out of linen, beino levein ha'am, which would be for tznius, for modesty purposes, a barrier between him and the people. Kiddush yodov v'raglov, he would first wash his hands, do kiddush yadayim v'raglayim, or poshat, and then he would get undressed. Rabbi Meir argues and says, poshat, first of all he would get undressed, and then kiddush yodov v'raglov, and then he would do kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Now, the machlokus between the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Meir is as to the nature of the kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Both agree that every change of clothing needs two kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. You need to do it twice. The Tanna Kama hold that the first one is as an honor, as a covet for the clothes which he is changing out of. So he is now wearing the Bigdei Zahav. He, whilst wearing these clothes, does Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim as an honor to these clothes. He then gets undressed, goes to the mikveh, puts on the Bigdei Lavon, and then does Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim again in honor of the new clothes which he puts on. And that indeed is the halacha, that's the Tanna Kama. Rabbi Meir, however, argues and says that both Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim are to honor the new clothes which he's about to put on. So, he, as the Mishnah says, Poshat, first of all he gets undressed, then he does Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim as a sort of a preliminary honor to the new clothes which he's about to put on. He then goes to the mikveh, gets out and gets dressed, and then does Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim again as a final honor to the new clothes which is about to put on. Okay, according to Meir, there's going to be differences about how the actual order of the 10 Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim, but this is the machlokas really goes to the nature of what the Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim is actually trying to accomplish. Okay, continues the Mishnah. Yorad v'toval, he then goes down and into the mikveh, and he immerses in the mikveh. Olav v'nistapek, he emerges v'nistapek, and he dries himself, which we discussed in the previous Mishnah, whether there's any halachic consideration there, the Mishnah Lamelech, i.e. maybe it's to remove chatzitza, that there shouldn't be any barrier interposing between his flesh and the begodim. Heviu le bigdei lavon, they then bring him the bigdei lavon, which is made up of four garments. The first is the ketones, then the michnasayim, then the mitznefes, the hat, and then the avnit. So the four items he then puts on, the bigdei lavon. Lovash, he wears those, kiddush v'kiddush yodav v'raglov, and then he washes his hands and feet again. And even Reb Meir would agree that for this second kiddush yadayim v'raglayim, he would get dressed first, and once he's dressed, then he does the kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. And that, therefore, is the third Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim, according to the Tanna Kama, that he would so far have done on Yom Kippur. That is the end of Mishnah Vov.